Hello, welcome to this new video. I am going to present the topic current trends and communicative language teaching. The first part, the history, in 1990s, communicative approach has been widely implemented. In the second part, we have general principles. The first is the notion of communicative competence. The second, communicative competence, in which the goal of second and third language teaching. The third part, communicative syllabus and methodology, that is the way of achieving the goal. The fourth, communicative language teaching, to involve our understanding of the processes of second language learning. And the last part, current communicative language teaching, that is divided into theory, the practice, a number of different educational paradigms and traditions, and there is no singular set of practices that characterize current communicative language teaching. In the other part we have the application of CLT. A set of principles can be applied in different ways, such as depending on teaching context, depending on the age of the learner's level that can be beginner, intermediate, and higher level, and the student's goals. Then we have 10 core assumptions of current in CLT. In this part, we have second language learning is facilitated when learners are engaged in interaction and meaningful communication. The second is effective classroom learning. Tasks and exercise provide opportunities for students to negotiate meaning, expand their language resource, notice how language is used, and take part in meaningful intrapersonal exchange. The third part, meaningful communication, results from students processing content that is relevant, purposeful, interesting, and engaging. The fourth, communication is a holistic process that often calls upon the use of several language skills or modalities. The fifth, language learning is facilitated both by activities that involve inductive or discovery learning of underlying rules of language use and organization, as well as by those involving language analysis and reflection. The sixth one, language learning is a gradual process that involves creative use of language and trial and error. The seventh, learners develop their own routes to language learning, progress different rates, and have different needs and motivations for language learning. The eighth part, successful language learning, involves the use of effective learning and communication strategies. The ninth, the role of teacher in language classroom as facilitator. And the last part, the classroom is a community where learners learn through collaboration and sharing. Then we have the characteristics of classroom activities. The first characteristic is they seek to develop students' communicative competence through linking grammatical development to the ability to communicate. They create the need for communication, interaction, and negotiation of meaning through the use of activities such as problem solving, information sharing, and role play. The third characteristic is that they provide opportunities for both inductive as well as deductive learning of grammar. They make use of content that connects to students' life and interests. Then we have that they allow students to personalize learning by applying what they have learned to their own lives. And the last characteristic is that classroom materials typically make use of authentic text to create interest and provide valid models of language. Key components in CLT. These components are focusing on learning-centered than teacher-centered, process-oriented than products-oriented. Always, these components are focused on social learning than individuals. Also, the study of individual difference In addition, the internal and outside the classroom in research and theory building, holistic learning by connecting the school with the world, helping students to understand the purpose of learning and development, focusing on the whole part than a part-to-whole approach. And then we have focusing on the meaning that drills and lifelong learning process. 8 major changes in CFT. The first change is the learner autonomy. Learners choose their own learning both content and process. The second, the social nature of learning. Learning is a social activity which depends on interaction with others, the curricular integration, English, not standalone but linked to other subjects in the curriculum. The fourth, focus on meaning. Learning activities are about exploration of meaning through content-based teaching. The five, diversity. Learners learn in different ways and have different strengths to develop their learning strategies. The sixth one, thinking skills. Learners develop critical and creative thinking to apply in real-life situations. Alternative assessment, using multiple forms of assessment such as observation, interview, journal, and portfolios to measure learning comprehension. And the last change, feature as co-learner, the facilitator to try for different alternatives constantly. Quite extent is yet considered an effective approach for teaching any language. From my point of view, the CFT is an approach capable of creating fundamental strategies and techniques to motivate students to learn and help to use in communicative competence, where students are capable of developing their skills with their learning of vocabulary, grammar, the pronunciation, and the part of speech. In addition, the students will be able to apply what they have learned in a real communicative context where they will correctly achieve their previously established objectives within a class. Thank you so much for watching this video. That was it about current trends in communicative language teaching.